Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy 7th here, back with another video. And today's video, we're back with another review, and we're reviewing the game called Tormented Souls. Now, before I continue, we're gonna talk for a little bit, but for those who just want to see the review, I'll leave a timestamp so you guys can go watch that. But for those who want to hear me talk for a little bit, just a little update on my channel. Here it is. I know I've been gone for 2 weeks. Your boy's been busy with stuff. I've been trying to upgrade my equipment and like really better myself on how to be a better YouTuber with editing content and stuff like that. So I literally went out and bought a streamer set. I actually got a mic now, and not just a headset mic. So the streamer set came with a headset, so I got a brand new headset and a mic. So let me know if the audio is sounding crispy, because when I tested it out, the audio was sounding nice. So you guys let me know if it's too loud, too low, or whatever. I'm staticky, things like that. But yeah, so these 2 weeks just been busy. I've been trying to be productive. Like, I've finally got a video editor on my laptop that I'm comfortable with using, because all my videos before I just edit on my phone and upload it to my laptop and upload it to YouTube. But now I'm finally comfortable with an editor that I can use, and I'm using Adobe Premiere Rush. Like, I advise any beginners or people who've trying to refresh, their memories on how to video edit, use this, because Adobe Premiere is pretty good, and like the UI is simple, everything is simple, it's not too complicated, you're not being bombarded with things on your screen. But yeah, so that's enough about me. We're back to it. I just want to let you guys know that quick update. So let's get into the review of Tormented Souls. So what is Tormented Souls? Tormented Souls is a return to classic survival horror. This game wears Resident Evil on its sleeve, the old school Resident Evil game on its sleeves. This game has been made by a small indie team. It's actually made by 2 developers, Dual Effect and Abstract Digital, and published by PQ. Fun fact about this game, well, for me, this is actually my first PS5 game, legit. Like, this is the first game that I bought, and I'm happy with it. It was like $20. So I'm looking for new games to play, and I wanted to try this out because I love zombies, I love survival horror games. And more recently, I've been trying to support more indie developers, because lately AAA gaming is not it. These bigger companies don't give a fuck about us when creating their games and launching their games broken and shit like that. So I've been going into the indie scene, because I feel like these guys really deserve it. Some of these indie developers are making great games, and they really deserve the money, man. So like, I was satisfied with my purchase on Tormented Souls. But before I get to why I was satisfied, let's get straight into the review. So this review is gonna be like pros and cons. I'm gonna keep doing more reviews, and I'm gonna try to pick a style of a review to stick with. So this one, I'm gonna go with a basic what's good about the game, and then what's bad about the game, and just give it a score basically. So that's how I'm gonna do this review until I figure out like how I really want to stick on doing my reviews. So what's good about Tormented Souls? Before we do that, quick backstory about the main character, because I forgot to give that. So the main character is called Caroline Walker. You wake up in a freaky tub in a mansion, just like Resident Evil. Well, you don't wake up in a mansion in Resident Evil, but there's a mansion just like Resident Evil. You wake up with your eye cut out, and you have to investigate this mansion for the disappearance of your twin sister. It's like a mansion turned hospital type thing. So that's just a little backstory. We're gonna talk more about the story by the end, but I just want to talk about what's good about the game and what's not. First things first is the weapons. There's a decent amount of weapons. By decent amount, I mean there's 4 weapons, but we're just gonna give that to them. There's the nail gun, the crowbar, the shotgun, which is everybody's best friend, and the lancer. So right off the back, I'm gonna tell you, the nail gun and the crowbar are the weakest weapons. The shotgun you find later on in the game. You gotta find all these weapons besides the nail gun and the crowbar. They give those to you. Shotgun is OP as hell. One shots everything. Real close. If you're like up close, it one shots everything. 2 shots if it's like a stronger zombie, but it does the job. The lancer is basically like the crowbar, but more powerful, and it's like it has more reach. It's basically a shock rod, basically. The crowbar has like very bad range and minimal damage. I used it like twice and I got killed twice when I used it. So the nail gun I like. The only problem I had with the nail gun is that it took too many shots. I felt like some of the enemies were a little bit too spongy, or just the nail gun was just a little weak. I never really had trouble with ammo, because you know, these type of games I like to save my ammo for encounters. So the weapon variety is all right. I'll give that to them. I really liked the guns. Moving on to the second thing that is good about this game is the monster design and variety. There was a whole lot of monsters here that I did not expect, and they all gave me a fright and a chill, genuinely. I love the designs, but I kind of noticed that the monsters do look a little rubbery. I don't know if that was just the art design, how they wanted to do that, or the lighting or whatever, but that's just a little nitpick. But the monster designs were genuinely frightening. I played this game with headphones, so seeing them move towards me, bro, was just like, and the soundtrack that plays while they're coming towards you is just like, yo man, I love it, bro. It makes my heart race, and that's what I love about these games that are truly survival horror. So the type of monsters that they had in the game was the Rad Hammer dude. It's a big fat dude with a hammer, and he has like a bucket over his head with glowing eyes. He comes later in the game. There's the wheelchair dudes, some mutated monsters, because it's like you're in a hospital where experiments are happening to people, so it's like fucked up mutated people. So there's a wheelchair dude with spikes. There's crawlers. Those are the common ones that you will see around when you're going around the mansion. There's the wall guys. Wall guys are basically wall guys. They're posted on the wall, blocking you from going certain places, and that's when I tried to use my crowbar and I died multiple times. So with the wall guys, you just gotta shoot them. There's no other way past them, especially if you're trying to go past them through in the dark. There's also big dudes. They're like bigger versions of regular zombies, but I think I've only seen like 3 or 4 of them throughout the whole game. So this game has pretty nice variety of monsters. And one more, there's also a ghoul. They did the thing like Resident Evil did, where you have a thing that pops up and chase you around the map, you know, like Mr. X or Nemesis. So yeah, there's a ghoul that chases you around. You can't defeat him, you just gotta run past them or leave the room and come back. I've learned that trick. Like if you were to go in a room and then just leave, and you hear the music of the enemy coming, you could just leave the room and come right back in, and then he'll disappear. So that's one way of getting rid of him. And yeah, so the monster variety is pretty decent in here. And to my final point of what's good about this game, I know it's only 3 points, but it's a short game. I beat this game in under 10 hours. You know, it's not really too much to look at, to pull from. You know, it is made by an indie studio. So, but my final point is that this game truly feels like a survival horror game, from the atmosphere to the music to the lore to the puzzles and everything. And I love it, man, because it's like a callback to classic RE, you know. And no matter how you look at it, those games will always be the best, because they actually tried, and they're actually with effort to make the players scared, and then not with cheap jump scares. So yeah, those were the 3 things that were good about this game, and now we're gonna move on to what's bad. I have a couple things, but not a lot. Not necessarily say bad, but things that they could work on. Let's say if they were to make a sequel to this game, or another survival horror game with new characters, things that they could work on. The first thing is the map system. The map system in this game, I'm not gonna lie to you, I got lost a couple times. This shit was kind of hard to use, you know. So I feel like they could work on that a little better, you know, make it more like Resident Evil's map system. It kind of was, but like, I don't know, I had difficulty reading it. Like I couldn't know where my character was at. The layout was confusing at times, or you know, that could have just been me just being a dumbass and not knowing where to go and stuff. But I felt like the map system could have just used a little tweaking, just to show where your player was. Like you can see where your player are if you find a map that's hanging on the wall, but if you're using the map that's on your person, it doesn't show you where your player is standing at that time. which, you know, kind of fucked me up a little, you know, because I'm trying to figure out where to go. So that's one of the things that kind of bothered me. The next thing that I had a problem with that I thought they could use some work was the item management. The item management in this game is pretty bad. You can't move things around. I'm a type of person, I don't want to diagnose myself as having OCD, but I like having things organized, or I like moving things here and there that my way, you know. I want to organize things my way, and in this game you can't really organize anything at all. Once you pick up an item, it's just there, you know, and if you deplete an item, it automatically shifts everything. So there's no moving items, there's no dropping items, things like that. So the item management could really use some work. And not only that, it was infinite. You could pick up a lot of stuff. You didn't have limited storage. I think that would have made the game even a little bit, just a little bit even more better, that you would have a limited storage, but you could just pick up anything because you had limited space, you know. So, and the way they had their gun tabs, the way they had all the tabs together was just kind of awkward, you know. So the item management could use a little bit of more work. Now, my next point of what's kind of bad or not as great, I know it's gonna sound contradictory to what I said previous, and my next point also is gonna sound contradictory, but the fixed angles in this game, in certain areas, it is kind of janky. Like I will be going forward, but then the camera would swap, and then my character would be going back, and like my character would like spaz out a little, trying to figure out where to go forward or back, because the way the camera switched when going through certain hallways. Now, it didn't happen a lot, it was just in certain areas. So I would say this is just more of a nitpick, and maybe, you know, in future games, the better camera placement, or just figure out how to make that smooth. And on to my final point of what's bad, or what I didn't really like about this game, is the puzzles. Not all the puzzles. Some of the puzzles in here were pretty easy to figure out, pretty fun to do. There was just a couple that I feel like has to be said for other games too. It's not fun when your puzzles are too complex for people to figure out. It gets to a point where it's kind of frustrating, because I legit spent like 2 hours on this beginning puzzle. It's early on in the game where you had to open up the library. I found the knocking piece for the library, but you had to knock on the door a certain way to open it up, and they give you a clue about a heartbeat, how many times the heart beats or whatever, and I, for the life of me, couldn't figure out what it meant. I was stuck on this puzzle for 2 hours until I decided to look it up, and that was like the first time I think that's rare for me to do that in video games. I like to figure things out myself. So if it's rare for me to go look at a guide to help me out on something. So when that happens, that means your puzzle is a little too complicated, and it's not fun, and it's frustrating. So that puzzle where you had to put the stethoscope, I'm not sure if I said that right, the thing that the doctor used to hear your heartbeat, you had to use that on the statue and listen to the heartbeat, and then mimic the heartbeat sounds onto the door. Now, for the average Joe, that's bullshit. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was pretty hard, and the average person wouldn't be able to figure that out like that. So, and there was another instance there was other couple puzzles that was pretty hard that just were redundant to me sometimes. Like, I understand this game not holding your hand. By the way, this game doesn't really hold your hand, but at the same time, you can't make things too difficult for the player, I believe, you know. So just those just the puzzles, man. But other than that, this game is fine. So I'm gonna recap now everything that is said. So what's good about the game? Decent weapon variety, monster design, monster variety. It truly feels like a survival horror game with the atmosphere, the music, and lore. What's bad about the game? The map system, puzzles a little complicated, item management could use some work, and the fixed angles are just a little janky in some areas. Now that we finally talked about the pros and cons of this game, I'm just gonna give this game my final rating, and my rating for this game is I recommend it. I know that's not really a rating. I didn't want to do a numbers rating for an indie game, but I say I recommend this game, man. I had a pretty good time minus the puzzles being hard and a little difficult. But overall, I felt like I got my money's worth, and I felt like I had a good time, and I've helped these indie developers, man. Support more indie developers. That's all I really got to say. So by the time this video is posted, I think the PS4 version of Tormented Souls, the last gen version of Tormented Souls, has come out by now. So go cop it. It's like 24 bucks. Man, that's like a fucking McDonald's meal, man. Especially now that the fucking price is going up for everything. That's like a damn meal. But I recommend getting this game, sitting back, relaxing, and enjoying some old school classic survival horror. So that's my review for Tormented Souls. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think about this game. Do you like it? You don't like it? What else you do like? What don't like? Oh my god, I keep stuttering. But also let me know how you guys like this review. Do you guys like how I'm doing this review? I'm gonna try to do other types of reviews besides pros and cons, where I go like a little bit more in depth on certain things. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. More videos on the way. Peace.